1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
Right, so do you want to do the introduction, bruv?
Yes, I do, cuz. Yeah, this is the Alien Spaceship. To anybody and everybody who's listening to us, we hopefully have got one or two interesting things that might grab your attention. So here we are. I am Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv.
And I am Emmy Hikins, and he calls me cuz. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship. So, yeah, I suppose you've got some mind-boggling mathematics.
You can't even say
maths. Maths.
Not really.
And statistics. Yeah.
Not really maths necessarily.
All right.
Some interesting facts, some interesting paradoxes, really, and also some interesting statistics. I'm saying interesting. You may well fall asleep when I'm doing some of these, but I thought they're just quite interesting to listen to, and to actually sometimes some of these interesting facts are quite mind-boggling. You can't really take it in. For example, let me ask you, what do you think are the odds of any one of us, any human being born? What are the odds of us having been born?
Any human being born? I don't know, probably 5 in 1.
5 in 1, 1 to 5.
1 in 5. 5 in 1.
Now, if I were to say, like an old television program, up a bit, we could be here till about a month or two's time. I think it's rather more than 1 in 5.
Is it?
I'll tell you. Well, actually, let me say before I say what it is.
Right.
When you think, and it's something you read sometimes in someone's comments, if any one of our ancestors, as an individual, you or me or anybody else, if any one of our ancestors going back to time immemorial, I mean, to who knows when, had died in an accident or illness, then we would not be here. We can personalize that and say, I can say if any one of my ancestors, I think of my parents, my grandparents, their parents, going all the way back, presumably thousands of years.
Yeah.
So if any one of those in my line of ascent had died, I wouldn't be here. So that makes your 1 in 5 look slightly off. The actual odds, apparently, I don't know how they calculated it, but they tend to be able to. The actual odds of any one of us actually being born are 1 in 400 trillion.
Wow.
So your answer wasn't quite there, not even in the ballpark.
I'm way out.
But it is mind-blowing, isn't it? And of course, what that also means is that we know billions of people have died in one way or another through age, ill health, wars, whatever. So it does mean that a lot of billions of possible people were never born, which is actually quite a strange thought, isn't it? To think that, we think of possible people, we think of the future, for future generations, and there's a lot of possible people, because if the ancestry of any one individual continues, then babies are always being born. But the same thing applies if any one of those ancestors is killed or whatever, or dies for whatever reason, they won't be born. So billions of possible people will never be born. But we are here, and when you think of those odds and think how all of our ancestors going back thousands of years, we won't say millions of years because the human race hasn't been here millions of years, but certainly thousands of years. If anyone had died, we wouldn't be here. So that in that sense, life itself, for that reason alone, and there's many other reasons, life itself is an incredible privilege. Because we've beaten incredible odds. you know, it makes the odds of, I mean, being struck by lightning a 1 in 10,000,
Yeah.
which is actually not great odds. And the reason for that is that every
The leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything casters. And fund the aim of everything casters.
not great odds. And the reason for that is that every second the Earth is hit by lightning 100 times at least, every second of every day. So it's a very volatile planet in the weather sense. But the odds of being killed by lightning are only 1 in 10,000. But the odds of being born in the first place are 1 in 400 trillion, a figure we can't even begin to understand. But as I say, it might make us, and it should make us, feel very privileged to be chosen in one sort of sense, lucky enough that our ancestry came to us and created us. So, yeah, what do you think about that?
Well,
Privileged life?
Yeah, this is interesting because
It is.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this, bro. So here's what I was thinking. So I'm thinking, what about the sperms that didn't make it? Is that part of the equation?
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a few billion that don't make it, aren't there?
Yeah.
And that in itself is sort of mind-boggling again, that just one does make it to the egg,
yeah, and
forms a new life in that moment of conception. And if it was any other sperm of those billions, I guess we as individuals would be slightly different. We wouldn't necessarily be as we are, but we'll never know, will we? Because it just seems, should we say, a bit of an overkill that only one out of billions actually make it. And it's a strange thing, isn't it? It's a strange way of the human race continuing itself, really. Yeah. But at the same time, it's strange, but it's wonderful. It's an incredible process that, again, defeats our ability to understand, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, when you then look at somebody that that is a bit silly in nature, and I'm trying to put it at the nicest way I can. When you then look at somebody that is silly in nature, and you think is what in nature? Silly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you then look at somebody that is sort of got a silly nature, you then think, well, you made it out of all these billion sperm, you know.
I hope you're not referring to me here, cuz. You looked at me a bit strangely there, I thought. I'll take it that you're not referring to me, so do carry on.
I would never do that, would I?
Actually, this is something good about being silly sometimes, so I take that.
It is.
I take it as a compliment.
And another thing is, now which one of the ancestors is actually responsible for us being here? Because the men are a contributor, aren't they? That's what they are. I mean, we men. That is debatable. That is debatable. Because the woman carries the egg, right?
Yeah.
So are we meant to be here, even if one or the other is non-existent? And let me explain it. It's a bit vague how I said it. So, for instance, I know my dad has been my dad, right?
Yeah.
What if my mom had sexual relations with somebody totally different? would I still be me? If you get the point.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, somebody did whisper in my ear that you look a bit like your postman, but I didn't want to spread that story.
I do. No, I do look like the milkman.
Yeah, but actually, it's a very good point you make, because we then come on to
Smart solutions come right from the heart. Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show. It's hosted by Cuz, the leader of our gang, will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything Cuz does, and fund the aim of everything